So, you've heard about The Ritual, right? The dark romance novel that has everyone talking? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on this incredibly dark, dangerous, and, let's be honest, obsessive world. We're going to break down the secret society at the very heart of it all, a super brutal organization known simply as the Lords. You ready? Let's dive in.
Wow. Okay, so right off the bat, you get this. This isn't just some catchy motto, it's the number one rule in the world we're about to step into. It is the absolute core of this brutal mindset that shapes every single character, every single decision. Just this one sentence, it tells you everything you need to know. This is a world where feeling anything makes you a liability, where being human is a weakness you have to get rid of. Chilling, right?
Okay, so to really get this story, you first have to understand the institution behind it all. So this first part, it's all about the foundation of this secret society, a world built on this terrifying combo of power, secrecy, and of course, a whole lot of violence.
So what is a lord exactly? I mean, the definition here says it's a member of a century-old secret society of the elite. But let's be real, this isn't just some frat party gone wrong. No. This is a super deep-rooted network. We're talking about a bloodline of power, passed down for generations, and they're all tied together by this oath. An oath that basically says they're above the law, above morality, above, everyone.
And this right here, this is what makes them so terrifyingly dangerous. It's this two-faced reality they live in. To the public, these guys are the cream of the crop, right? CEOs of massive companies, powerful US senators, the kind of guys you see on TV. But that's all it is. It's a mask. Because behind closed doors, they're killers, manipulators, guys who live by their own twisted set of rules. And that huge gap between who they pretend to be and who they really are, that's where all their power comes from. They're completely untouchable.
So what do they get for living this double life? What does the oath promise them? Well, pretty much everything. We're talking absolute power, and not just money, but literally the power of life and death. They get unquestioning loyalty from their brothers, total freedom to do whatever messed up thing they want, and then there's this last one, a chosen one. Yeah, we're definitely going to come back to what that really means in a bit.
You hear the name of the book, The Ritual, and you think it's going to be something serious, right? Almost sacred. But the truth is actually way more messed up. It's not some ancient ceremony, it's just a game. A twisted party these rich, bored kids at Barrington University throw to kick off the school year because, well, they've got nothing better to do. It just goes to show how detached they are from reality. For them, even their most dangerous traditions are just for kicks.
So who ends up getting caught right in the middle of all this? That's what this next part is all about, the chosen one. And let me tell you, that subtitle says it all. This isn't some prize you want to win. It's more like being branded as a pawn in a game where the stakes are life and death.
All right, so let's meet Blakely Anderson. Now, the thing about Blakely is she's not some random girl who just stumbles into this crazy world. Oh no, she's already trapped. Her family has her in an arranged marriage to this lord, a guy named Matt. And sure, maybe she cared about him once, but now she can't stand him, especially after she found out he's been cheating. So yeah, she is tangled up in this mess from page one.
But here's where it gets really complicated. What happens when a new player enters the game? Another lord, Riot Archer, shows up and he's on a mission. And get this, he didn't pick Blakely because he likes her or anything. He was assigned to make her his. So this isn't your typical love triangle. This is a cold, calculated move in a much bigger power play.
And this quote from Riot, it says it all. I mean, just listen to his words. She's a direct order. A direct order. For him, Blakely isn't even a person. She's just an objective, a task he has to complete to keep his title. All that work, all that sacrifice he's made to become a lord, that's all that matters. Blakely is just a pawn to him.
So now we get to the heart of it. What does being a chosen one actually mean in this world? The book lays it out, and it's chilling. It's got nothing to do with being a soulmate or a partner. Nope. A chosen one is property. She belongs to a lord. Full stop. Their oath literally makes her his possession. Any sense of her own choice or freedom? Gone. But, and this is where the story gets so twisted and compelling, Blakely isn't just some passive victim here. Even though she's being treated like an object, she starts to feel this incredibly dark, all-consuming desire for Riot. It's just as toxic as the world around her. She's not looking for a knight in shining armor to save her. No, she finds herself craving the very danger that Riot embodies.
And that toxic pull between them, it basically throws gasoline on the fire. Which brings us to our next section, a full-blown game of betrayal. As things heat up between Riot and Matt, secrets, lies, and murder become the name of the game.
So Matt's plan to get revenge on Riot, it's not a straight-up fight. It's way, way dirtier than that. His entire plan is to use Blakely as bait. He starts manipulating other women, basically turning them into weapons to go after her. And why? Also, he can frame Riot for whatever happens and hopefully get him kicked out of the Lords for good.
And Riot sees exactly what's happening. He knows how lethal this is. He sees right through Matt's little scheme. And when he says, "over my dead body," yeah, in this world, that's not just something you say, it's a promise. The stakes here are literally life and death. And those stakes? They become terrifyingly real. Matt's little game doesn't just hurt people's feelings, it gets people killed. 2. That's the number of women Riot ends up killing because Matt manipulated them into going after Blakely. They're just collateral damage in this war between two lords. That single number just shows you the consequences here aren't just drama. They're fatal.
So all of this violence, it just keeps escalating. And that brings us to the breaking point. With bodies literally dropping, Blakely gets backed into a corner where there's really only one rule that matters in the world of the Lords: kill or be killed. And now she has to choose a side.
And as everything gets crazier, Blakely starts asking herself a really tough question. Who's the real toxic one here? You know, she looks at Riot, who's possessive and violent and controlling, but then she looks inside herself, at her own dark desires, the way she's pulled toward all of this. And she starts to wonder, maybe she doesn't just belong in this world. Maybe she was made for it.
And that realization is the big turning point for her. Blakely finally gets it. There's no escaping this. If she just stays a victim, a pawn in their game, she's going to end up dead. So her only way to survive, and maybe even to get some power of her own, is to stop trying to get out of the game and start playing it.
And this quote, this is Blakely, in her own words, showing just how much she's changed. She's fully leaning into the darkness of this world now. She's not just playing along, she's using their own messed up imagery, their own twisted logic against them. She's turning her role as a sacrifice into a weapon.
And in the end, it all comes down to this. This is the core philosophy of the ritual. It's the lesson Blakely has to learn, and it's the brutal logic the Lords have always lived by. Forget morality, forget love, forget loyalty. Everything boils down to one simple, chilling choice. In their world, this isn't a tragedy, it's just a game. Which really leaves you with one final thought, doesn't it? When the game is this deadly, can anyone ever really win?